Welcome to another episode of Discovering the Maverick Factor. I'm your host, Shonda Music, and so excited to be diving into all things undergraduate research today. I'd like to introduce you to our guests. We have Dr. Kay Johnson Winters, and we have Krit over here as our student to give some insight today. So welcome both of you.
Thank you. Thank you for
Yes,
having us.
absolutely. Dr. Kay, will you tell us a little bit about your background?
My background, I grew up in Wisconsin, and I went to an all-women's liberal arts college for my undergraduate research experience and just my education. But they actually didn't have opportunities at the university. They actually outsourced, so we had to go and find our own opportunities to do research. But that's how I fell in love. I found the opportunities, and I was willing to go to the medical school and work in people's labs for free. And I was just a free person just for the experience, and that's how I figured it out. And then I stayed in the area to do my PhD, because my family was there. So my PhD is from the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. Then I moved on to do my postdoc at the University of Arizona, and I landed here at UT Arlington.
Wonderful. What a great background. I love the initiative of taking it upon yourself to go figure it out on your own.
Had to.
Pave the way. Now, Krit, what about you?
Well, I am originally from Nepal. I'm an international student, and I came here in the fall of 2023. So I'm a very academic person. So back in Nepal too, I used to study a lot, and also I'm love playing sports. So I'm physically active and engaged in sports quite often here as well. So after coming to US, I've learned about a lot of opportunity that UTA provides, and I really wanted to dive into the field of machine learning and AI, and I found the perfect research that they are doing over here, and I got into research in the spring of 2024. That's the last semester, and I'm enjoying right now.
So great. Excellent. Now, speaking of UTA opportunities, I want to hear from you both. Why did you choose UTA? Now, Krit, you touched on it a little bit. You said that they had a program and they had some research that you were interested in, but what made you actually pull the trigger and say, that is exactly where I want to go?
Well, as a university or just the research program?
Yeah, as a university as a whole.
As a university as a whole, well, I did a lot of research on university actually before applying to come to US. Well, and I found UTA has a lot of renowned researcher doing research on AI, MLs and stuff. So also it's listed at R1 Carnegie University on research. So, and also it was a bit, cost friendly,
Yeah.
So that's why I chose UT Arlington.
All wonderful deciding factors. And you talk about somebody who's fit for this program.
Oh, well.
The amount of research that you did to enter a research program sounds like a match made in heaven.
Sure.
Now, what about you? Why UTA?
For me, UTA, during the time I started, I saw a lot of potential here. I enjoyed my time when I interviewed, and it was in the city. I'm a city bureau, so that helped a lot. But in terms of the university itself, there was a lot of potential. So when I started at UTA almost 15 years ago, we were an R2 institution, right?
Yes.
And at best, maybe about 25,000 students. We have grown substantially since that time, right? And so it was great being a part of that process and having the opportunity within my department, outside of my department, within the college and within the university, to just really be able to expand all of my own interests and be a part of that entire process. So I love that. I love the diversity of the student body, of even amongst the faculty and the people that I got to meet outside of my own department. So it was great.
That is awesome. Now, I've got to talk on a few of these podcasts about, similarly, just being a hometown girl and seeing Arlington through the years, but seeing UTA grow, just as you mentioned. And 2007 is when I actually entered as a student here, dating myself a little bit. But the growth that it has had in so many different ways. It's multifaceted. It's the student population, it's the actual growth of the campus, new buildings, new departments, new designations.
Absolutely.
And it really has been so rewarding to see it grow through the years.
It has.
So I agree with you on that. Now, you were able to reach tenure in your department. What did that mean to you?
Well, to give you a little bit of background, right now it is very rewarding. Let me just say that. It's a wonderful thing. But, you know, I started out as the only female faculty for about 5 years. And don't get me wrong, I had a lot of wonderful colleagues, you know, within the department, but also outside of the department. I had a lot of great administrators that took interest in me and making sure that I grew the way that I needed to grow. And so I can see my impact now, 15 years in.
Yeah.
And so looking back on it, I wish I had celebrated more. I wish I had celebrated my milestones more. Because for me, when you're going through the tenure and promotion process, anybody will tell you that it's a lot of work. And one of my favorite books to read at that time, and it was my dedicatorial piece to the library, was a book by a woman. Her name was Carrie Ann Rockamore. And she wrote this book on how to win tenure without losing your soul. And
What a title.
The soul part of it, the soul part was her recognition of the fact that faculty just give so much of themselves
Yes.
during that tenure and promotion process. You make a lot of sacrifices. Some people, they lose their families, which is why it's so important to have mentorship, not only professionally, but it's important to have personal mentors as well.
Yeah.
And so the point in saying all that is because you do give so much of yourself, it is so important to make sure that you celebrate and celebrate well, even those small milestones. So that would be the piece of advice, even though that's not the question that you asked, that I would tell any assistant professor, celebrate your milestones because they are important. But in terms of my impact and what getting tenure meant for me, is that I'm a person that processes, and so I process after the fact quite a bit. And so during all my processing, I would just say that I can see the rewards of me because my personality, and given the fact that I am first generation, you know, really helps me to lean, you know, me leaning into those experiences really helped me to just also want to reach back and use my platform to help people, students more specifically, to reach their goals. And now I get to do that not only amongst my students, whether they're undergrads, graduate students, but I do that across the country through the American Society of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology, where I mentor a lot of junior faculty in this same process. And helping and having my own experiences has really helped to shape what that looks like for me.
Yeah.
And so I can see that impact now, and I can celebrate it and say, yay, good job, Kay.
Oh my God. Well, hang on. That's from me to you because that should be celebrated. You are quite the trailblazer, and it is honestly so great to sit here and talk with you and discover more about how you got there. And not only that you did get there, but you're now helping others achieve that as well. I think that's the ultimate celebration, really, is being able to share that knowledge with somebody else and help them on their journey. So congratulations to you on that. Yes. Okay, we want to go a little bit inside the classroom. I want to know, Krit, from you, a memorable moment of learning inside the classroom here, and just adapt that a little bit for Dr. K on a memorable moment from teaching in the classroom.
Well, for me, it should be the math labs. So I really enjoyed forming group with other students. Actually, there would be like different group in each lab. So I had a chance to meet with almost all my friends, have a talk with them, and solve problems, with a collaborative effort. So I really loved the way that we learned over there. And that's what I found something lacking in the education system back in my country.
Yeah.
So I really love the practical way approach that we do it over here in the classroom at UTA. And yeah, that was really fun over there, the labs and stuff.
That's so great. Yeah, as we were talking about the campus growing, we're seeing that in some of the building, the really hands-on learning, the collaborative efforts. Even I love walking through the buildings that have the glass fronts where you can kind of see the research in real life. Yeah. It's just really neat atmosphere.
Exactly.
And how about you?
I agree with everything that Krit has said, and I think that a lot of the resources in some of the buildings that you talk about really shed light on that. My lab is in the SEER building, so on right on the first floor. Yeah. And so, yeah, a lot of times my students are there, they're doing the cutting edge research, and so people get to see what the process actually looks like as they're walking the class. But really, to answer your question, I think that in my classes, let me just start here, is that I do a lot of things, I hope, that really support the students. I think that the things that they appreciate about me the most is the fact that I'm approachable. I think that being approachable goes a really long way with them. And so, with that in mind, my classes get large, but it's my goal to know the names and the students of all the students that come to class. So if they come, I'm going to know who they are by the end of the semester. If they're consistent, I'm always going to know who they are.
And so for our audience, if you've taken her class, you can probably attest to this.
Yes.
And if you're interested in taking her class, just know she's watching.
I'm watching, I'm gonna know, that's right. But it's out of interest though, because the funny thing, a lot of the students are like Krit. It's that they're world traveled. They come from very different backgrounds, and guess what? I can learn a lot from them.
Yeah.
And so it goes both ways. We're both sharing information, And so that's kind of the way that I see it. And so, so those are the things from the classroom perspective. But if I had to talk about one particular thing that made an impression upon me, a lot of the teaching that goes on is not always in front of the classroom. It's the things that occur when I'm not up there lecturing, right?
Yeah.
And so with that being said, I had one student that came to me right before the pandemic. It was probably a couple of years before the pandemic. And she just kind of pulled me aside and she just said, I just need you to know I'm a homeless student. And then I just said, oh, okay. And she was the first that had ever identified. If I had others in the decade before her that had been homeless, I wouldn't have known it because no one ever said anything. But we have to know that we do have different populations of students on campus, right?
Absolutely.
And I was like, oh, is there anything that I can do for you? Because I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm online. Does she have access to everything that she needs? And she was like, I'm not asking for any favors. That was the first thing that she said, is that I'm not asking you for anything. I just need you to know that because of my situation, that I need to bring my daughter to class with me. And she is a toddler, but she's quiet.
Wow.
And then I said, absolutely, please bring your daughter to class. And that was a great trigger for me in one way, because my mom, she went to community college, and there was a lot of time, I was born when my mother was in high school.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of times that I had to go to community college too. And then that was when I realized, oh, I belong here. And, I knew, like, this is where I belong, right?
Yeah.
And so, and I never left, as you can see.
Oh, what a moment.
And so my point in saying that about this particular student is that interacting with all the students that semester, including her, I just kind of decided, we really don't know, I don't know enough about any of these students that sit in the seat. And the first thing I want to do is humanize them for me. And so, because I don't know, I'm going to start something new. And I started giving extra credit. You spend at best $2 or $3, and if you want to bring something for free, and we're just going to start, collecting products that people could use, and we're going to give it to the UTA, student services or whoever.
Yeah.
Because we had the pantry
Maverick food pantry.
Yes, we
which
did.
is fairly new in the grand scheme of things.
Yes.
But so useful.
Before it was sponsored though, right, by other stores and brands and different things like that. So what I did was I just said, I have like 150 students in this class.
Yeah.
If they bring stuff, that can be pretty impactful.
No doubt.
But the thing is that I think it impacted the students more than it impacted, the purpose of me starting that whole thing is that they enjoyed just giving and having an impact in their own way. And when they saw the amount of products that they were able to actually accumulate, I think that they really enjoyed it. And then it kind of caught fire, and then they wanted to do it from one semester to the next. And then the pandemic hit. And then student services, they were coming to me and saying, okay, do you have stuff that we can give that? Wow. And I was like, I have more than yes, I have. And so that was probably one of the more impactful things for me.
Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine. Is that something that you still carry on in your classroom currently? Do you still have that initiative where people bring, where you contribute to food pantry, or is that something that just serviced you at that time?
Well, I would love to continue it, but I'm assuming that there's no need for it because most of the pantry at this point is just kind of...
They've taken over.
Yeah.
So no,
which is a good thing.
People to that.
Yes.
That is so neat. Thank you for sharing that. I can imagine how big of a moment that was for you and how impactful that made you look at things so differently. And when we talk about UTA, you almost cannot skip diversity. You can't talk about UTA without talking about diversity. But a lot of the time when we look at diversity, we think about it as our international student population. We think about it as different ages and colors and genders and everything that you see in the classroom. But to pause and take a moment and think about the diversity in being in your lifestyle, I think really does help shift that perspective as well. Diversity is one of the things that I loved the most about UTA because I just had such a vibrant classroom experience. And I want to know if that's the same for you, Krit.
Yeah, exactly.
Being an international student yourself, actually, yeah.
True, exactly. So for me, the education system over here, it's pretty new because I'm from Nepal. So the experience that I'm having here, it's pretty new to me. I'm enjoying it. And all the different friends that I have over here from different parts of the world, and getting to know them, to know about their backgrounds, and to talk to them, and enjoy the culture as well along with mine, and teach them my culture, learn from them. So it's been like pretty much pretty enjoyable for me till now. So. I'm enjoying it outside of the classroom and inside of the classroom as well, making friends from various backgrounds.
Do you feel like you found your home away from home?
Exactly, I did. We actually have a lot of Nepali people over here, so I never felt I'm away from home. And apart from just Nepali people, we have a lot of different people from around the world. So every day feels pretty much the same excitement. I go up wanting to meet new people, share new ideas, learn more about them. And I'm really excited for each and every new day.
I love. Now you mentioned that diversity was one of the things that drew you here. You briefly talked about it, but I want to know, for those who have not experienced UTA and are on the fence about it, why is that so important to you? What's the draw with that?
First of all, I'm proud of UTA in I think in so many ways that, that we have moved forward in very positive ways for all of our students, right? Mm-hmm. So we're a Hispanic serving institution, which I think is wonderful. I believe we've won the seal of excellence in terms of being an HSI. But we have a lot of wonderful programs that service students from various backgrounds. One of the programs that I'm most proud of in undergraduate research is our UROC program, so the Undergraduate Research Opportunity Program, which allows us to award opportunities for all of our students, right? If you're a UTA student, you can be a part of our UROC program.
All right.
And one of the things that we've been working to do is really just get all of the students in from all colleges, because I think that one of the biggest myths is that, I'm not STEM specific, or, perhaps I'm in social work or I'm in liberal arts, and so we don't, do the traditional research, but creative works is important too.
Yeah.
Or in research in those areas, because guess what? They do research as well. So, with all of that in mind, having opportunities to be able to serve students in that way is wonderful. But if I can go back and I can think about, diversity, I'm a person that really champions it. That's my heart work. And but we have a lot of misconceptions about what that could mean. And I think that you named a lot of the areas, like, even in your opening here about what those things are. And it's not, just race, ethnicity, it's accessibility, but the whole point is that it's including everybody. It's not for any particular group of students or any particular group of people. Inclusivity is including everybody. And so that's what I love the most about my platform when it comes to being a professor, but also in undergraduate research, is that I get to service all of our students. So,
Yeah. Oh, so great. Now, I brought you guys here. We talked about this is going to be undergraduate research, but we haven't actually got to dive right in. If you were to describe undergraduate research in a nutshell, for those who are unfamiliar, give us your elevator speech. Tell me all about it.
Starting with me, or?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, so undergraduate research is conducted by students at a college or university who generally have a mentorship with a professor or someone like that. And what they're doing is answering a question, right? That's what they're doing. They're answering a question, and that question that they're answering can be in a collaborative form. And that collaboration can be between the student and the professor, or a student and within a research group, or or a lab, anything like that. Or it can be a group of labs, and a lot of people don't realize that. Is sometimes that the research can go on between multiple groups, whether it's at the same university, out at different universities, and sometimes even internationally,
Wonderful.
right? To answer some very important questions. So, in a nutshell, that's really what it is.
I love. Now, Krit, you talked a little bit about AI being a topic of interest to you, among other things. What all different types of subject matter interest you and are available here?
Well, I love mathematics. So I feel, as I already mentioned, I love my math lab. So that was exactly what I needed. So other subjects that interest me, I did love learning economics. Political science that I'm currently taking. I want to learn about the politics that's going on around the U.S. because it's new for me. So yeah, everything is available over here, and I've had wonderful interactions with professors, and there are a lot of different, support for students, including PLTL sessions, SI sessions, where I can, if I have some doubts, I can go in and even get help from different experts over there, and also for calculus and various mathematical subjects.
My goodness. Yeah, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and we have a lot of math clinics over there. If you have any doubt, you can just show up over there, and I have enjoyed all the resources that UT has provided me.
Thank you so much for sharing that. That is actually so much more vast than I anticipated in the best way. It really does sound like there's a little bit of something for everybody. She's like, yes, there is. If there's one message that you leave with is undergraduate research, there is something for everybody.
There is something for everyone. And I think that that's probably one of the biggest myths, is that, I'm not STEM specific, and therefore maybe it's not an opportunity for me. Or another myth is, I don't have any research experience, therefore I wouldn't be a good fit. We don't need you to have any experience. We just need you to want to show up.
Did you hear that?
Just show up.
And then you'll guide them through the rest. Krit, what is next for you? Once you complete your degree here, you're about halfway through. What do you see as next for you?
For me, I really want to impact the machine learning and artificial intelligence field, put my impact on it. So I'll probably will continue my studies, and apart from that, we'll be looking to get into industry level work, and I'll be researching for my life, that's for sure, because I want to gain, because I believe researching is a way to manifest on your knowledge, and to research is something that spark your curiosity forever. So I really want to not leave that. I want to continue that for my entire life, and After graduation, I'll probably continue my study and also will look for some opportunities here and there to show up my skill and create an impact.
I have one last question for you guys. We ask everybody who comes and sits down in these chairs, and it is, what is the Maverick factor in 3 words to you?
You're looking at me, so that means I have to go first.
You gotta start.
Fair enough. It's faculty, staff, and student experiences. That's how I see it. I looked and I'm looking at all of these different things that have gone on across campus, but it's the experiences that make UTA unique, and that wasn't 3 words.
You know what? But I agree. We'll say faculty and staff is one.
Right, thank you.
Thank you. That's beautiful. I love asking this question because you get such an array of answers, and everybody's is different, and UTA truly does mean something different to everybody uniquely. Now, Krit, what about you?
So as a student, I would say community,
I love that.
excellence, and leadership.
Oh, yeah.
right.
3 really strong words, 3 words that really encompass UTA for sure.
That was good.
Well, I can't thank you guys enough for taking time and joining us today for diving into undergraduate research and a little bit both individually about yourselves. Once again, this has been Dr. K and Krit. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you on the next episode of Discovering the Maverick Factor.